Welcome to the Glolent podcast, the podcast for remote work and freelancing in practice. Welcome, Vicens, to this episode of the Glolent podcast about the IPO of WeWork, and we will discuss what happened there and what went wrong and what WeWork is getting right also, but also the other side, what WeWork is getting wrong, basically by raising these crazy sums of capital, for example. So, welcome to this episode, Vicens. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Behsaad. Thank you for inviting me to the meeting. To the podcast. I knew that you were deciding if invite Neumann or me, and at the end you thought that I can give more insights.
Neumann was unavailable. He's currently trying to sell his private jet, I think.
Yeah, I think he was just taking care of the hair. No, I mean he wasn't the hair, and it's take long. I mean it's It's the key, the hair of Neumann. I will come back later to that, but
you have some very interesting theories. I think he has the surfer dude vibe. You know, that's what enabled him to raise all this capital, because people just think he's going to ride out this wave as well, right?
How many money did he raise?
More than 10 billion, I think. I think more than 10 billion. Like 10 billion was SoftBank alone, and that.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other investors. So the company was evaluated at $50 billion at the height of its evaluation, and I think until like a month ago, it was evaluated at 50 billion. And then it slowly came down, and now it's like 10 to 20 billion, maybe, if at all. They're slowly running out of money, basically.
Yeah, I think he has probably, if he has to take care of his hair again, he needs even more money. Okay. Let's put some seriosity there. WeWork. What's WeWork? Okay. Yeah. Why is now the trendy topic? Okay, that's the big question. And for me, as I think we discussed with a friend of mine last day, WeWork is not doing anything wrong from my point of view. He's a normal company, and his business is a business that is proof that it works. Okay, because it's a real estate. I mean, it's one of the oldest companies.
You know what the difference is between a tech company and the real estate company?
Okay, let me know. I don't know that. I mean, computers and the
difference is economy of scale. So a real estate company will always raise its costs with the revenue they get. If you open more locations, you have more costs. You have more investments and so on. A tech company, once you have the basic costs covered, and once you have the system set up, the costs at some point become pretty stable, and the revenue grows. So you have a disproportionate amount of revenue to the amount of costs, of basic costs. So what this means that a real estate company is easier to kind of calculate and make a prognosis about how they're going to fare financially in the future. Where in a tech company, everything's possible. That's why we have these crazy evaluations of some tech companies, because for all we know, it could be booming, you know.
But one idea I came to my mind now, for example, is that tech companies, they have this power. No, they can scale super fast and without any increase in infrastructure, because mostly there are a couple of, very small teams of engineers. But the thing is that tech companies, they have a very big risk. That is, they usually don't have entrance barriers. So a lot of competitors, they are copying the idea. In 1, 2, 3 years, you have more of people that they say that.
But look, Google Plus tried to copy Facebook, and Google is a giant company, we all know, and Facebook pretty much just dominate.
That's true, but I think that's another a bad example. Sorry, Behsaad, to put you here in live in compromise, but Groupon is an example of that. Okay, for example, Groupon was increasing. I think it was the company with higher capitalization in the market or something like that. But a lot of different companies were appearing in the short term, and at the end, the business exploded because there were so many people offering the same. So there was a concentration. I mean, the idea was not bad, but they concentrated. Okay, even I was working in a company, Let's Bonus, and they were doing that, and they were bought by Amazon, and the whole team that was growing for 2 people to 500 disappeared from one day to the other.
Yeah, okay? Because, but for example, Google and you got these tech giants, Amazon and Facebook and Instagram. And so on. They're mostly okay. Amazon has a big system.
Yeah, Amazon has
some physical components behind it. But usually these guys are pretty stable. I don't think anything's going to happen under normal circumstances to these big brands.
No, I mean, what I wanted to reach is that okay, if you are WeWork, you have a lot of buildings around the world. Very cute buildings with a lot of hot things inside and hot chicks and a lot of
and beer.
Companies.
Don't forget the beer.
And free beer. This I think is a good thing as well. I mean, that's life. It's like that. I mean, I don't see WeWork 2 doing the same.
Yeah, but look, the leases and so on, they're more like an obligation than an asset. That's not an asset, it's a liability basically, because these are leases. These are obligations of billions of dollars over the next years that they have signed. Do you know today they put all the future leases on hold? They wouldn't do that if they were assets. It's basically liability.
Yes, yeah. Well, but they can do it as well. I mean, because if you have assets, you have a debt to pay the assets. Few people have assets without debt. So at the end is I mean, I am not defending this guy. I mean, although he has a nice. It's a little more German in myself. Tomorrow I'm going to Oktoberfest.
They're becoming pretty cool. Like I realize sometimes then that in American movies and so on, you hear some German words and I'm like, why like kaput or
kaput? Yes, kaput international. I would say. I mean, I remember when I was a child, I was the word Scheiße, no? Scheiße, because the German soldiers in the war movies, no, and they opened the tank door and they say Scheiße. I say what? And now I know that it's shit, no? They were fact because I don't know.
Yeah, Zeitgeist is another one,
Yeah, okay. But okay, let's talk again about the head of. I mean, I like Neumann. I think I have.
Yeah, I wanted to say that you're not the right person to ridicule that.
Exactly. Not so nice as him because he has more money than me for keeping beauty. No? But I like as well. He's Israeli as well. I have a secret admiration about Israeli people. I think I told that before, but it's otherwise. All the people I met from Israel, they had almost, in my point of view, superpowers. I mean, I have a couple of anecdotes. I remember one thing being in Bogota, and one taxi driver wanted to scam us, and I was with 2 Israeli people inside. And when so my reaction was, oh, he scammed me because he was doing a workaround to go to the hotel. Okay, usual stuff, nothing bad. And then okay, I will be angry, but I pay. No, but no, he didn't do that. He gave him 100 pesos. And then when he was giving him the change, he said, "No, I give you 500." And the taxi driver was, he was very angry. He got the mobile out. Okay, I will find you, and the license I will send you to the police. And at the end, he got back 300 pesos in change. And when he went in the hotel, he told me, well, he won't do again that. He has
how to scam a scammer.
And yeah, exactly. But this reaction,
but you could argue, going back to Adam, I don't think it has to do anything with this. Maybe Israeli people have better experience in building businesses and so on. Because it's a very it's Israel is a startup, if you think about it. Israel didn't exist 50 years, 60 years ago. Like it's the whole country is a startup, and people had to figure things out for themselves, and so I think that makes people more entrepreneurial. And
it's a nice comparison. Yes. And they very not. I mean, they are always kind of alert, no, because this feeling of defense.
Jewish people have been prosecuted for thousands of years, so that makes you. I'm sure that makes you quick on your feet, basically.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I didn't want to put the weight of the conversation on this. I thought it was a nice.
I'm falling into a dark place now.
Exactly. We go now to but so the thing is, WeWork. I think that the business they are doing is not wrong. I was in WeWork buildings. I like it what they are doing. I saw that there are a lot of companies renting and super happy inside. Okay. Because I don't know, there are some synergies with the companies. This community. I heard an interview from him, and he was saying that he wanted to bring this warmth from the Israeli community to the workplace. Okay, this feeling of community. Okay, that he was missing in USA when he was creating this working.
Yeah, you know what I heard, that when Israel basically started out, like when they organized themselves into communities, and they had to be very efficient. So everyone had their own kind of responsibilities to take care of, and so everyone would, pick out their tasks, and they would divide work in order to get things working, right? So what this led to is basically a very close community as well. Like if you add in also the prosecution and people getting together to protect each other, you have a very closely tied net of people that work together and cooperate very well. This is also a secret of success, because that's basically what you need to create an ecosystem, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this community in Israel, I was googling now, the name is kibbutz.
Yes,
I heard before about kibbutz. Yeah, but well, so I think so. Business side, I think that the WeWork is not a crazy business. So the business had some future. I really, the question is if the market was overestimating. Okay. That could be.
Who did? Okay. It was not the market. SoftBank was overestimating. Masa-san basically was over.
Well, but he put money. They put money. They can overestimate what they want. The market is different. You have a lot of people from, I don't know, Bloomberg or this shitty.
No, but private investors, they agree to evaluations that are not based on necessarily on numbers that and revenue in the past. They're based, especially in tech. They're based on assumptions, and public markets are different. If you go public, you're filing in all your revenue streams, you're filing in all your numbers and balance sheets of the last years, and people look into this, and people with a very neutral outlook into the world look into it and calculate the probability of success. And that doesn't necessarily happen with private investors. Masa-san basically he's an emotional investor. I think he is. I think in this case he said like Neumann was like his protege, maybe his son. Seriously,
he
said that Neumann reminded him of himself when he was young. I don't know if he had the long hair when he was young. I cannot.
Or maybe, or he wanted always having hair. Maybe he was always bald.
He had this aspiration. But it's really seemed like a emotional decision because he believed the hype in Neumann and that he will change the world. You know what's funny? All the Silicon Valley companies say they want to change the world, but they never said if it's going to be better. They just change it.
Because better and worse are relative.
I disagree. I think like better can be objective. You get the human happiness, human wealth index, the human. I think what's it called? The UN.
We can discuss that in a new
exactly.
podcast.
We don't have time.
A boring one about better and worse and philosophy. No, I mean, so the question for me is because a lot of critics say no, they have more obligations. We work as income. No, 15 years in renting with landlord and 2 years of
their cash in the bank is about $2 billion, and they are burning about $2 billion a year. So if I divide 2 by 2, I get 1 year. They have 1 year left. So the countdown. There's like a big at Adam Neumann's mansion. There is like this big sand watch running out of time, and they need to fill it up with new sand of money, basically.
So, but you don't think that the business would be profitable if everything works okay? So without any new money?
No, they're bankrupt next year.
So do you think they're bankrupt?
Next year, in 2 years, they will be bankrupt. First, they cannot sell any liabilities. They cannot sell the leases. So what can they sell? They can sell their company stakes and so on. But
they have a know-how. They have some companies. They bought Meetup. They bought
but that's not going to save them for more than. I mean, max, if they don't get new money in, if they don't get new capital, they will be bankrupt in maximum 3 years, even if they sell all their assets.
Yeah, it can be, but because they in the last 2-3 years they did a big push. So I mean, they are opening in Barcelona. They in the last year they opened 3 buildings. Okay, in the best areas. I think if you go to the website, they have buildings over all the world. And in any big cities, they have a building, and all the buildings are nice and decorated, following the WeWork globalization idea. No, so you feel. It's like a McDonald's, but a nicer McDonald's, no? Like you feel comfortable.
You know what's the difference between McDonald's and WeWork?
Okay, what's the difference? Okay, sorry.
Sorry for all these rhetorical questions. McDonald's is a real estate company. It's a real estate company. WeWork is
realistic or real estate?
Real estate company. And WeWork is not. Isn't that ironic? Like you think WeWork is a real estate company, but it kind of claims that it isn't, and you don't think McDonald's is, but it claims it is. And actually, McDonald's has a different business model. They also lease these spots in the city centers to get the best offices, to the best locations for their restaurants, and then they rent them out to third parties that are operating their franchise there. And
McDonald's is not franchise model.
Is it not?
Sorry.
Really?
No.
That's what I understood.
No. Yes. No. Burger King is franchise, but McDonald's is own all the. Or sorry, maybe I'm the opposite.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared.
The thing is, to operate in a McDonald's, you need to buy a license from McDonald's, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it's the opposite. I think Burger King has the own.
Maybe. And the thing is, if you buy the license, you're paying more than the lease, and so just in itself, it's already profitable, I think. So WeWork doesn't work like this because they need to fill up the space with small companies and freelancers and so on in order to get their rent and their lease covered. And this can take quite a long time, and this is not very safe in times of crisis, basically.
Okay. Yeah. I was reading now. You're right. No, they have franchises. I don't know what I maybe I dreamt that.
It's good if I first think I'm wrong, but then I'm right. It makes me even feel better.
I learned something new. Well. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good comparison. Keeping distance between the two businesses, of course, because I think at B that was inflated the price of the IPO.
I think a lot. If you think about it, if it's now at 20 billion or something, where did the 30 billion go? What happened? What happened to that's a question of how can you overvalue a company so much in the private sector that if you go public, the shares or the evaluation drops by more than half. Basically, that's for me. It shows there is a big problem in general in how we evaluate companies and new companies, especially.
It's a feeling mostly of the time. No? I cannot. I am not a CEO of nothing, so I cannot say. But when I had the opportunity to work close to them, and I saw how they were evaluating the company, they were always hyper optimistic.
Yeah.
Okay. So if one year was good, the next year had to be 20 or 30% better than the last year. Okay. So it was always, it couldn't stop it.
Yeah, of course.
Because the venture capital were asking for that until 1 year is not anymore, and then they are fact. But until this year comes, this 5-6 years, they are doing that, and they are putting more and more. I saw it with some companies. The same pattern, and maybe WeWork is a bigger example because they have big players behind it and a global scale. But yeah, nothing to discuss here, Behsaad. We have to have different opinions because if we agree, this is not podcast.
I think we can. That would be
my point of view. My point of view is that I think that the WeWork is a little bit overestimated, of course, because as I told you, the CEO has to do that. It's his work, but it's a good work. It's a good business, has future. And
just like the free beer, since the free beer has lured you in.
The free beer is nice. There are hot chicks inside, and you feel cool inside, and that's the most important thing that I like. Okay, you feel that you are good people. You feel cool as well. So it's
yes, you're definitely. I think you're onto something there, but I have to disagree. I agree with you on an emotional level. I disagree with you on a rational level. I think that's a good conclusion. I think. So we agree.
I do another look. I think that WeWork will go out in the market. Maybe not the initial price, but in the middle. And if something happened, and because WeWork at the end is a ship in the ocean, no? If the market doesn't want having WeWork and it goes away, I am pretty sure another company will fill the gap and put the business on the WeWork co-working.
You know what the competitor should be called? We doesn't work.
Yeah. This is a hashtag with that.
It's a good one. Think about it. It needs some time. Okay.
We fan or something like that.
Work. Yes. So we conclude that we have different opinions, and that's all right. So that is good. Nice. That is a good thing. Diversity.
And it's good because we are split we are not in the same room, so we cannot.
Exactly. It's a remote podcast, so we're both safe from violence, from physical violence.
I know what you mean.
That's a problem.
I can say that.
That's a problem.
Okay,
but I live on a mountain, so I can protect myself.
It's true. That is exactly. You can put some barricades in the street. I mean, I think I will never find where you live exactly, because I remember all the streets going down and up. So
I know. I chose a place of safety to be safe
it's a labyrinth. It's a maze.
from podcast guests, basically.
and for the climate exchange as well, because the water goes
I seriously thought about this. A friend of mine bought a house at the beach 2 days ago. I'm like, are you sure you're doing the right thing? Are you sure there's going to be, a beach where your house is, or is it going to be water in 10 years?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's even fun. I mean, I don't know.
I think we're off the subject a little bit, but
yes, but these are but not at all, because it's real estate. We are giving some
really?
real
Yeah,
advices.
you're right. We're staying tuned here in the
Don't buy close to the beach. Sell everything. I buy it. To sell it.
Speculation. Buy real estate underwater. Maybe the sea retreats,
exactly.
Or maybe Dubai decides to build an island. Then they have to pay.
I know you for a while, Behsaad, and you have a deeply confident in the scientist world and the human. And I'm pretty sure you think that the human will invite some kind of fusion reactor or something like that, and will put all the water together again in the icebergs.
Yes. I'm working on that on the side, by the way.
I think that maybe one of these
one of my side projects.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, Bill Gates is working on a reactor, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's a matter of time. Buy close to the beach. Your friend.
Very good, Vicens. Okay. Before we estrange our listeners any further, but I think it was a very fun episode. Thanks for being here and being basically my counter opinion in the WeWork IPO case. It was very good. Yeah.
And let's see what happens.
Yeah. So one last prediction from you: WeWork in 5 years, where will it be?
Well, I'm serious now. I think WeWork will keep living.
Okay. I think it's going to be under the sea, basically.
Okay. Let's see 5 years. Let's hope we are still alive, and then we can see it.
That's a very optimistic way to formulate. Well, I don't know why you always assume that. I don't know. I remember I called you like 3 times, and then there was like something happening, and I dropped my phone or so. And your first idea was, oh no, Behsaad had an accident and he's gone. This is like a very dark outlook.
You think so? No, I opposite you. I mean, it's another podcast.
Let's finish here. Okay, we're getting. Okay, to be continued. Okay. Take care, everyone. Okay. Thanks for joining the podcast, and tune in every 2 weeks on Fridays from Glolent. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Ciao, guys. Ciao, Behsaad. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Glolent podcast, the podcast for freelancing and remote work in practice.